Hello everyone, welcome to Pune Hill Station, Mumbai. I am Ronja and with me today I have Madhurima, who is better known as MBR, who is a freelance editor in Bombay and is also pursuing an alternate career as a yoga instructor currently, which is amazing. And she also has been my oldest and my dearest friend in this city. And as I always tell everybody that she basically has introduced me to all the people that I know. And till about last year, I could trace each and every person I knew in Bombay back to her. So that's how it has been. So let's get to it.
Okay, yeah. Where do you want me to start? Okay, let's start with how do we know each other?
Yes.
You were the quietest, sweetest, chupcha person in the university while we were pursuing our masters in film studies in Calcutta.
Yes.
And we didn't hang out a lot back then, but it's not like we didn't talk either.
Yeah.
So basically we studied together, and then after you moved to Bombay, since then we became really, really close.
Yes. Madhurima, I think, has been my therapist, counselor, pacifier, friend, mother, sister, not daughter. I have been a daughter. So whenever I had some kind of trouble.
Mother.
Yes. So since we are talking about our journeys into the city, so how do you have a definitive moment when you thought, I want to be into films, or I want to be in media, and I want to do this particular job and maybe explore the others, but majorly this one?
Okay, let me put it like this. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but all I knew after school is that I didn't want to do any more Porashuna. I was not good at it. I did not like studying, and I didn't want to study anymore. But I had to do graduation. So then I had to sit and figure what would be an easier option for me. Yeah, ultimately I got into Shri Shikshayatan for journalism and mass communication. There was Porashuna, but really you didn't need to do much. The people who studied a lot, but I was fine, like it was great. But even then, I didn't really know what kind of a career I would have. I wasn't really sure of what I wanted, but I wanted something to do in the industry. And I just wanted to start working to get the experience in the industry. I was very fortunate. I found Mikida, who was looking for an assistant. And since then, for 2 years, I worked with him freelancing on different non-fiction projects, and also one of his films we worked on. And then I got into masters in Jadavpur. That time also I was doing part-time Kaj. So basically, by then I knew that this is the industry I want to be in, and so that's why I was pursuing it. And then coming to Bombay, that happened because I think towards the end of the master's degree, I had gotten very comfortable. I mean, Calcutta is my city. I was already very comfortable. So if I wanted to move and try something else, this was the time, right after I finished my master's. So the only person I knew in Bombay who was close enough was Ankita. I didn't have any family. And that's it. I didn't know anything else. I didn't look for a job. I tried looking up on the internet and sharing things, but that didn't help. So I think I was advised by Ankita only. Somebody said, just come here and then, otherwise it's not good. Okay, you have to understand that I was very nervous. I was freaking out, obviously, because I had nothing, no connection. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have a house to live in, nothing. There was no plan B. There was just moving to Bombay. That's it. That part, I don't know. So, like, something had to work out. Okay, so one friend had told me, listen, don't worry about finding a job. that there's no dearth of jobs in Bombay. What's going to be a problem is finding a house. And that's exactly what happened to me. That could not have been truer. I think I spent 1.5 to 2 months looking for a place. We would face the strangest of obstacles. For instance, actor, we're all 3 females. That's apparently a problem. Bachelors is a big problem. Most people want families to live in their house. And then we had one experience where religion came in. Our broker took us to a house and then very sneakily came and told Afza, do you have any other name? And she was like, yeah, my nickname is Daisy. So he was like, yeah, when the landlady comes in, that's the name you use. We didn't understand at that time. We did not know these problems existed. To us, Bombay seemed to be a very open-minded place where, because it's got so many cultures and people from so many places, we didn't expect some to have really, really narrow perspective. So then, then finally we found this place and it was great. And I haven't learned about that house. We're still here.
Yes.
The one house I did own in 2013, it was so traumatizing that, and also we love this place. And then one of Ankita's friends only was in the ad industry. We got a bunch of contacts from her, and this place, 120 Media Collective, they were looking for someone in post-production, fortunately for me. So before I get into that, because I had some experience working as an AD, before moving to Bombay, my desire was to figure out post because I had no idea how post worked.
Yeah, yes.
So I really wanted to get a job as an editor, which I thought would be impossible because I had no idea. I had no prior experience. But then luckily, as I said, they were looking for someone in post. And I got hired as a fresher with a very minimum income. Again, I wasn't even expecting to get paid because I didn't know shit. So I thought, and at that time, Baba was supporting me, obviously. Otherwise,
of course.
And then began the really stressful first 7-8 months, I think. Oh my God, it was so stressful because I didn't know anything. So they just gave me a project, and it was nothing, okay, Ranja, it was just some stupid DIY makeup video, okay. I was taking maybe 1 to 2 hours to do something that would take a human being 5 minutes. I spent nights at the studio just because I had to catch up. But the thing is that a lot of help from my colleagues. They were really helpful, especially Suraj, one particular friend. They were really, really nice and really, and Saurabh, my first boss in Bombay, he really was patient with me. Yeah, I thought he would fall from the sky when he saw my edit, but he didn't. He was patient. He only, he would show me what to do. And then Ali saw my first edit. I wish I could have taken a photo of his face. He fell from the sky because he didn't know what he was dealing with. But yeah, so those were the first few very difficult months. It was difficult because I was thrown into it, which I wasn't expecting. But that was the best thing that happened to me, actually.
Yeah.
Because I just had to do it. I didn't have an option. I just had to learn.
So when you were obviously moving to Bombay, I'm sure you were talking to people. You were talking to Ankita here. Did you talk to any of them, and did they give you a bizarre idea of Bombay, or did your parents come up with a cons list?
My parents were very supportive. They were I didn't think my mother would be okay with it because even now, if I go back home, they expect me to, not my dad so much, but my mother expects me to have a curfew or something. Kothay jaccho can all that rubbish. So that's still there. But yeah, I didn't think that she would be okay with it. So it would be so easy to convince her, but it was. They were very supportive. Like I said, my father supported me for the first, quite a while, good few months until I could manage. I had heard things I didn't have much. I didn't even try to find out much. Mostly I had heard of things like ADs get abused, verbally abused, and gala-galied and insulted while working, and I had heard of those things, but I didn't take them very seriously because not everybody will do that, right? But then ultimately I got into post-production and I didn't have to deal with all of that. It was a lovely team of people which I wasn't expecting. It was so much fun. And the best part, which I thought I wouldn't find, was that everybody liked Old Monk. Okay, I thought that was a Calcutta for some reason because I didn't have any friends outside of Calcutta. Everyone loves Old Monk, and that was great. Okay, let's talk about when did we realize that we love the city? You start. I've been talking too much, so your turn.
I love the city because of a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Of course. Especially the sense of liberty that I got the moment I stepped into the city was amazing. When I arrived into the city, it was about 4:30 or 5 in the morning. And obviously, the whole city there was nothing going on. So that kind of calmed me down, because till this point of time in the train, I had this massive anxiety going on, ki what is going to happen. And then the moment we took the cab and we were arriving at Sulakshana's house, that I think really calmed me down. I mean, I was like,
I love
the
night in the
Exactly.
city. Nights,
I love
it's
it.
just, it makes you feel like it's your own, like,
Yeah,
because
exactly. And the best thing that I love about Bombay is you can walk around the city at any point of time without any souls around on the road, and that I think gives you such a sense of liberation that is unmatched with anything that I have ever
absolutely.
experienced.
How sad is that? That's something
Exactly.
that could be
That
normal.
Yeah,
like that. I realized that not everyone stares at you. In Calcutta, everyone is always staring at you. In Bombay, people don't stare at you. So I realized that, there are places where people don't stare, which is Bombay. In Calcutta, there was a time when I stopped wearing shorts because I thought that's why people were staring at me. So I started wearing only kurtis. No, they're still going to stare. So you might as well wear whatever you want.
But then there was one incident which had happened to me when I had just started working with Ali and Saurabh at Jugaru. That was the time I had just started working really late nights, like 3:30 in the night. I would leave from office. I would only lock the office up and I would leave from office and get home. And I was staying near Andheri station, so it was quite a rickshaw ride too. So I mean, I get out of the building and I start walking, and that lane. So from that office building to the main road, it's like a 2-minute walk. So I started walking and I see a rickshaw coming towards me. So I obviously try to stop it. I wave my hand, and then by the time it comes a little closer, I realize that there is already somebody sitting inside. So I didn't bother. I started walking. But thoda aage jate hi, that rickshaw stops. Okay. So I got a little curious. I was like, why is this happening? By the time this guy who was inside, he had already come out of the rickshaw, and he's like, excuse me, hi, can I please have a word with you? And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you know what, there are some drunk guys up ahead. I think they're bikers or whatever, but then they're drinking and they're having a laugh among themselves. I don't think it's very safe for you to walk down there. Why don't you take this rickshaw and go? And I'm like, and I looked ahead, and there were some guys. I could hear them laughing. All of that. Yeah, and this guy tells me, why don't you take the rickshaw and go? And I'm like, but you are already in it, and I'm sure you have to also get somewhere. So he's like, no, I stay right here. Why you just take it? It's okay. It's absolutely fine. I can walk it out.
How nice.
Yeah. The rickshaw driver was also like, हाँ मैडम, वो उन्होंने अपने पैसे भी दे दिए, आप आ जाओ. So then I sat inside, and I was also quite anxious, and
I totally understand your state of mind at that time. It's really suspicious of someone who's being out of the blue nice, right? Because these sort of genuine acts of kindness are rare. They don't happen every day. So one time I was in an auto, and this is not very long ago, okay, like a couple of years ago. I was coming home from a friend's place. It was around Shondewala evening, and I was very hungry, okay, very like starving. I was just waiting to get back home and eat something. The auto guy, he stopped at I think there was a traffic jam or something, and he saw somebody frying peanuts, okay, on the side of the road. And the auto guy went and got some for himself. Then he's like, "Aap rakh lo, aap kha lo." And I'm like, "Nahi, are." I was like, "No, please." That was so nice of him. He just offered me a bunch of peanuts when I was very hungry. It's not like I told him I was hungry, but somehow.
Yeah.
Where were you staying initially?
I was staying near Andheri station at that PG with
Right, Sagar
City. Sagar City. Yes.
I went there. Yeah, I remember. That is the time I saw that you could open a beer bottle with your beer cap with your mouth.
Yeah.
I was so impressed.
The only problem with those setups is that the people that you stay with, they do not know how to respect your private space. Like I have had experiences where I have come home and I have seen that somebody had kept the iron switch on, put the iron on my bed, and the iron has toppled on my bed and my bed is burning. And I got shit scared. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So then I switched it off, handled it, went looking inside if there was somebody inside, and there was somebody inside. I asked her what happened. She just blatantly said, no, I have no idea what happened. I did not use your iron. And I'm like, okay, of course. And I remember I was not wearing a dress that needed ironing, so I did not use the iron that morning. So clearly somebody used it. I kept it outside. My fault that I kept it outside.
My God.
So, apart from those couple of horrid situations, I think it was quite a nice house. One thing which I definitely think which has kept us going, contacts, no contacts, friends, no friends, house, no house, job, no job, is that dedication that, you know, I have to make it work here, because if I don't, then I don't have a plan B.
This is where you want to.
Yeah, this is the place you want to be.
I was fortunate because I got what I wanted to. My second option was to work as an AD because that's the experience I had.
Yeah.
But I had realized that I didn't feel like doing this every day, going to office anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to anymore. I really wanted to do something of my own. But so I decided to quit and I decided to start I wanted to do only freelance. So I got a system and I set it up and I started doing freelance edits. And I love it and hate it at the same time. I love it because I love the adrenaline rush. It's a lot of stress. Okay, there's a lot of things happening, as you are obviously very well aware. And in order to fix that, I found yoga. I got into it at a time when I was going through a very rough time. It wasn't a good time for me. And somehow I heard of this place and I went there for a very basic course and it made me feel very good. If someone had told me 3 years ago that Madhurima, you have a choice, you can also do it this way. You don't have to do it the way you're doing it. That doesn't mean that you're going to restrict yourself from certain things. It just means that you're going to have a better life. I wish someone had done that for me, and I want to be able to just show people that there is that option. If you wanted to, you can do a little bit differently, which is going to make a lot of difference in your life. And I love it, and I do want to focus on that as well. But I don't ever want to let go of making content or editing videos. That's always going to be there.
I think we are almost at the end of it. I would want to end the conversation with this one little thing that Madhurima had given me when I had first met her after I came to Bombay. I think that was also my first night out in Bombay. That is the night you had given me this. This is one card by Mario D. Miranda. And at that point of time, I was also in that phase where I was going to different places. I had dropped my CV to about 50 places and I was still not getting calls. It was also not that later, but then of course at that point of time it seemed like
you had just moved.
And you had written this one line which I think had stayed with me till even today when I think about it. But for the first 6 months at least, when I was not sure if this is going to really work out, if this is going to stick, if I was going to be able to sustain the struggle per se. This is one line I used to keep getting to, which was, which you had said, "Dear Ron, welcome to Bombay. Guarantee it that you won't regret your decision. They call it the city of dreams because everyone has the opportunity of making it here. All you have to do is look for it."
I love it. I want to say that to myself again.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Madhurima, for being a part of this little initiative that I've taken.
Nobody has taken my interview.
Hopefully, this is the first of a lot.
Yeah.